Good to have you back with us on Ed Schultz News and Commentary. So what is a Ryan-led Congress going to do versus a Boehner-led Congress? What's the difference? Not a whole lot. They're going to go after Obamacare. The president's going to veto it. So we're going down a dead end, but they're trying to make a statement in a political year. For more on this, let's go to Jim McDermott, congressman from Washington, and is a member of the House Budget Committee. Jim, good to have you with us. Hope you had a great new year.
I had a great year, Ed. It was a good time with my family. I was in Sun Valley, and all my family was there. So we had 16 people living in the same house enjoying each other's company.
That's great. That's the kind of rest and relaxation people need. Congressman, what is going to be different between a Ryan effort to repeal Obamacare and what we saw Boehner do?
None. It's simply going to be a continuation of the assault that they have put on Obamacare from the time it was passed, and I don't expect to see any lessening of it until we get to the election. I mean, they are never going to offer the people an alternative. They are simply going to say what the president did was bad, and we're going to get rid of it.
Congressman, I'm going to personalize this. My wife has fought cancer for almost 3 years now. We're well beyond the $1 million coverage, the big mark that everybody was talking about. If Obamacare were to be destroyed by the Republicans, we would be victim, and certainly we would be undoubtedly a candidate to have our insurance dropped. Is that a fact, or is that not a fact?
Well, that is probably the $1 million question, so to speak, because the provisions in there that provide for people's ability to get insurance, even if they have a pre-existing condition, it would be a part of the repeal, perhaps. Now, if they leave that in place, then the insurance companies are stuck with the fact that people can come in anytime they want. As soon as they find out they have a bad diagnosis, they come in and get insurance, and the insurance companies are going to scream to high heaven that that's not fair. So the Republicans are really caught on their own, they're being hoisted on their own petard. They can't take Obamacare out without taking away that pre-existing condition exemption. And secondly, all the people in this country who have their children on to age 26, if that's repealed, that means that many middle-class people will have their kids out there with a job, but no insurance.
Well, but they would also be able to make decisions on patients and just drop them because they cost too much.
Oh, yeah. That's the whole idea of underwriting, that is, deciding which patients you want and how much to charge them, will come back in full force if they repeal this law.
So to your knowledge, the Republicans have not offered anything to counter any of that, have they?
There's been no proposal. We've said it over and over and over on the floor. I mean, we've had 55 attempts to repeal it, and we keep saying, repeal it, but what's your alternative? And they do not have one.
Here's Speaker Ryan talking about the move.
You're going to see us put a bill on the president's desk, going after Obamacare and Planned Parenthood. So we'll finally get a bill on his desk to veto. Then you're going to see the House Republican Conference working with our senators coming out with a bold agenda that we're going to lay out for the country to say how we would do things very differently. And you'll see a return to regular order where men and women in Congress can bring their bills to the floor, make their amendments in order, and we will run Congress the way the founders intended it to be run. We think the country's headed in the wrong direction. We think Obama has transformed us in a bad way. We owe people an alternative, and that's exactly what we're going to lay out.
All right, Congressman, regular order. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means the Republicans want to say that we're going to have a change in the way the place is run, but it clearly is being run totally out of Ryan's office. He makes the decision. He brings out the bill and hands it to his majority leader, Mr. McCarthy, and says, go get this through the House. The old way was ideas would come into committees and they would be discussed, and you'd have hearings, and people would come in and talk about them and decide which is the best way to go, and then they would pass through the committee process and up. Now it comes from the Speaker's office to the committee chairman with the instruction, bring that bill back to me so I can pass it on the floor. Don't change anything. You watch, there won't be any amendments in the committees.
Jim McDermott, Congressman from Washington, great to have you with us. We'll do it again. Thank you, sir.
All right. right. We'll see you again, Ed.
You bet.